Hello everybody, this is your Meadow Hare for the day, your one and only, and we're here for a tutorial on Afterimages. Now first of all, this is a tutorial that was requested by evanazorsky, I think that's how you say it. Either way, thanks for suggesting it, and here it is for you. So what you need for this tutorial to complete it is kind of a basic platformer movement with a player with several animations, like this one. The animations don't have to be finished, like this one's animations definitely are not finished. However, it will, in principle, work, even if the animations are kinda, crappy. Okay, so you have all the objects. If you don't have all the objects, I'll put a link right here, or someplace in this area where I'm circling the mouse, for the movement that I made way back when for my platformer tutorial. It'll just be a link for the download, and you can use that if you don't have your own movement, or you can make your own. Doesn't matter, as long as you have one. Alright, so this is pretty simple. Like, I did it in one try, actually, which is unusual. And all you need is this object. All you need to do is clone it, your player object that has all the animations. And we're just going to name it Afterimages. Mask Afterimages. And you don't need to do anything with it other than add this value called transparency. I forgot the A in there someplace. And we're just going to leave it at 0. Alright, and let's go right in here, and actually I should show you the game real quick. So this is a thing that I made several years ago, like literally 3 or 2 or something, and I never finished it, but the only perk it had was I made this really nifty ledge grabbing system, where you could grab a ledge, you could hit down to let go, or you could just keep holding the direction, kind of like Metroid, how she grabs the ledges. You could also hold down and hit the button to do a little, tiny jump to get under things like that. So otherwise you just hit your head and fall down and all that. And these enemies, you just jump on them and, you beat them. But it's pretty good, Sometimes you look back on these things and you think, man, why did I abandon that? At least I do. Alright, so back to the code. We're going to go in here and create a group called Afterimages. And actually, let's go back out here real quick and just add a couple values in here. I'm going to say A for Afterimages timer. Just need 2 values. And A for Afterimages create. So A timer and A create. Just leave both of them at 0. And we're going to do this entire tutorial in just 6 lines of code, if that's even possible. But we're going to find out. So when timer is greater than 0, we're going to subtract 1 from A timer. Alright? Going to put that down there and copy it over in the same line so that you have 2. And we're going to edit this so that when A create is lower or equal to 0, and when A timer is greater than 0, we're going to create one of these Afterimages at 1 or 0, 0 docile mouse, the player. And we're going to, let's just leave it at that for now, actually. And copy that down one more time and just say when A create is greater than 0, we're going to subtract from A create, from A create 1. Okay, and now create a subgroup called image, just image fade. And now for this thing, just 3 events for this thing. We're going to say always, first of all, we're going to say always add to transparency 5. In relation to that, we're going to add one more. Say when transparency is greater than 255, we're going to destroy it. Actually, for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to use semi-transparency, which only goes up to 128. So we're going to use that. instead of 5, we're going to add 3. Now the purpose for using semi-transparency is that like the Games Factory 2 and like some non-updated versions of Multimedia Fusion 2, the non-HWA or non-hardware accelerated version, don't have what I would normally use, which is alpha blending coefficient, which is just a more precise way of using semi-transparency. Some of those versions don't have that, so I'm just going to use semi-transparency just for compatibility's sake. So we're always going to set its semi-transparency to its transparency, predictably enough. Okay, and for this, let's add one more thing to this one. In my case, event 55, but just the one where a time is greater than 0 and when a create is lower than 1, or lower than 0, or equal. Bleh. When a create is lower or equal to 0, we're going to set a create to 3. Okay. Now let's test that out. Actually, we can't test it out quite yet. Go back up to wherever you have the event where your character jumps, which in my case is right here. Just a regular jump. We're going to, see, look, there's something left over from my practice file. Because I did practice this. When I did it, that was from when I did it in one try, so, yeah. So, pretend that wasn't there, and go to where your character jumps, and we're going to just set its a create, or its a timer, rather, to, 20, like it was. Alright, now let's test it. Whoa! See that? There's some Afterimages. Only problem is it's not matching his animation or direction. In fact, it looks quite honky, to say a pretty goofy word. It's a very honky Afterimages. So let's fix that, and you'll be surprised at how easy this is to fix. We're going to create this thing, and let's just say when it's created, we're going to change its animation sequence to use a calculation and go in here and find this thing's animation value. We're also going to go in here and change its animation frame to this thing's animation frame. We're also going to set its direction to get a calculation, this thing's direction value. And that's it. That's the fix. And so now it'll match his direction and animation. What could be a problem, however, is even when you run into a ceiling, the Afterimages still get left behind. And it kind of looks odd. So I don't really want that to happen. So I'm going to go in here and say, okay, in these events when it hits the ceiling or ground, I'm going to set its a timer to 0, which means it'll stop making Afterimages. So when I hit the ceiling, now it stops. No more Afterimages. I hit that ceiling, it stops. Alright. Isn't that awesome? It's really simple, really easy to do. And there's so many possibilities you can use with this too. For example, just by jumping on that enemy. Let's go down here to enemies and say when it lands on an enemy, we're just going to set its a timer to say 15. So now whenever I jump on anything, including this cat, oops, I hit the ceiling so you didn't get to see it very well. Now I make some really weird looking Afterimages whenever I bounce. So that's kind of weird. But yeah. You can do things like that, and assuming you have a regular animation for something like that. Actually, let's just change it so it's not in animation flip up, and it'll probably look better. So you jump on the enemy, yeah, see? Get some nice Afterimages from jumping on him. Now, of course, this is really unrefined and kind of goofy looking still, but you can mess with it. Just, you can make more Afterimages by setting this thing to a lower value, or you can make, whoops, not 45. Or you can make fewer Afterimages. The choice is yours. The higher you set that value, when it resets, the more after images you'll get. Or the fewer you'll get, actually, sorry. Alright, so Evanazorsky, whatever your name is, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but this is for you. I hope this helped you. Hope this helped anybody, because we can all learn from everybody else's questions. If you really want a ledge grabbing tutorial, just say something, and I'll probably get around to it sometime. Yeah. So this has been your one and only Meadow Hare. This has been Afterimages, a very simple method of doing so. And if you have any questions about it or have any trouble, you can let me know. Remember to download the engine that I supplied and try it out for yourself. Alright, so I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.